Hello guys and welcome to another Sims 4 speed build. This is a tiny base game starter, I think. I'm so suspicious of myself when I start recording this build. I did a little while ago and I'm just getting around to voiceovers because unfortunately allergies have hit me really hard and I haven't had a voice for most of the month of April, which you're probably going to see this in May or June. But just know that a good portion of March and April I just didn't have a voice, and unfortunately it's getting better and I'm sipping a lot of hot coffee while doing this. But so I built this a while ago and just now getting to the voiceover, and I wrote in the little description I left myself, this is a base game starter house. I'm so suspicious. I have never successfully made a starter in my life, so we will see together. I do remember this build. I remember it being cute and a little bit sparse, and I'm hoping that I did it right. So we shall see. I had to be creative with this build. This was also the first build for a long time that I've done that's base game only. I wasn't going to do base game. I was going to do just a starter. And then I got to thinking, well, what if I just doubled the challenge and made it base game? I would like to do, I think, a starter that's not base game with just any of the packs that I have available to me. I think that would be fun. And I think it would be easier because windows get significantly cheaper the more packs you have. Like, I think it's cats and dogs windows are like 30 simoleons, whereas the windows I had to use in base game are a lot more. But I'm actually pleasantly surprised with how this house turned out. It's small, but it's fairly functional. Obviously, if you move your Sims in, there are things you would want to immediately upgrade. You would immediately want to upgrade the appliances. You would immediately want to upgrade, like, the TV and the fun stuff. But it's usable at the beginning. Like, and if you were trying to rags to riches your way up to a starter and place a starter off the gallery, something like this would work and be very functional. I think a lot of times the Sims team, their starter houses, the reason they feel so sparse too is because they're giant. And I definitely made this a little bit smaller. I am not seeing anything from packs yet. I'm so suspicious. This too is me just laying out furniture. I definitely did the just like put things in to make sure we can even get everything we need first, and then we'll style it all cute. I definitely make that bathroom smaller. You cannot tell me. There we go. Trying to get the light, I think. But there were some interesting choices, and then I think I ended up making that room a little bit bigger because I think I put a TV in, or a computer, because I wanted to try to get a skill building item or two if possible. A computer, which is a skill building item, but also a computer is just useful. I wanted to get a fun item like the TV, a bookshelf, full, this is me testing things, full bathroom, full kitchen. And I did. The bed is a double bed, but it is up against the wall. Please excuse me, I just knocked into my desk. I have this fun little like pop-out thing, and it's really nice, but it rattles, and so you have to either pull it out super far or not have it out for it to not rattle, because it's an antique teacher's desk. And it's really useful. It's nice for having, like I have my coffee on it and stuff right now, but when it's out super far, sometimes I hit my knee on it, and that's what you hear. Anyways, because I sit kind of cattywampus. But what was I saying? Oh, the bed is up against the wall, which sometimes the Sims scoot and sometimes they do not scoot. So if you're going to play with two Sims and you can swing it, if you're going to play in this house, I would bump out the bedroom wall by one so that your Sim can walk around. I was going to put a back porch on. I don't think I end up keeping the back porch because, first of all, the roofing was fine, but the platforms were going to be expensive. Also, I don't have tiny living. But I think, maybe if we get an inside shot, that's 3 tiles right there. I don't think this is a tiny house or micro home. And I don't think it's a tiny home, but I think it's a small home. So you could get some perks and benefits as well, which is nice when you're just starting out. I want to do a bundle and get a couple of new packs. I think it would be really fun. There's a couple that I've sat and chewed on for a while, trying to decide if they're worth purchasing for me. And I think Tiny Living and maybe Paranormal and Dream Home Decorator are a couple that I'd really like to slowly but surely get. Here's where I noticed I accidentally took an entire wall out of the house. Go me. Massive. Definitely intended to do that. I was going to say massive failure, and then I decided to be positive. I'm trying to be more positive in the way I speak. I find it funny. So that's the thing, is like, I'm self-deprecating because I find it hilarious. But a lot of people are like, don't talk about yourself that way. Which I appreciate. But like, I have a weirdly high self-esteem for who I am. Like, don't worry about me. I'm overly confident to a dangerous level, so don't worry about me. Here I am just kind of fixing the roof, trying to make it cute. Little yellow house. I feel like when they're smaller, it's fun to paint them brighter colors. You can get away with it because it's not so hard on the eyes. I live in a little yellow farmhouse, so I am partial to little yellow houses. Which is funny because, so I wasn't intending to move in with my parents. I ended up moving in with my parents because my mom needed some extra help after she had a couple of strokes and stuff. And so I'm helping my dad with that. And, but I wasn't intending to move with them. So when they were moving, they were like, well, Amanda, if you end up moving in after college, what are some things you'd like? And so I was always joking. I was like, I want a big porch and I want a place to have horses if I'm going to move home, you know, yada, yada, just being dramatic. And I was like, I want a little yellow house. And my dad was like, great, you know, just shoot the moon, you know. And we ended up with a little yellow farmhouse with a place for horses and a big old set of porches, and I adore it. And so I always joke now, because I ended up moving home, I always joke that, like, anytime I do something to make the house better, my dad's like, oh, you shouldn't have to be putting money into not your house. I'm like, don't worry, it'll be my house eventually, because now I'm attached, so you can never ever sell it. But the real estate agent thought I was nuts too. She was like, you're in college, you're going to move, why are you so invested in your parents' house? And I was just along for the ride, because where they moved is my favorite place in the world. It's where, like, my family is all from. We have really strong roots here. I spent summers out here, so they were moving to my favorite place in the world. So I was like, heck yeah, I'm gonna come along and look at houses. But I really didn't have a lot of intention to move, but it worked out, and I'm glad I did. And it ended up working out because the room that I have here would have been much bigger than where I was kind of thinking about moving to. So I can actually have, like, a nice little computer set up and stuff, and it means I got to have a really cool set of remote jobs that have taught me a lot. So that was a bit of a bird walk to say that I really am partial to yellow houses, always have been, and now I'm very lucky to live in one that I love immensely. It's a 1940s farmhouse, so it needs some love. There are things that I would like to fix, but we're getting there. Not a single house in this wall is true, though. Or not a single wall in this house is true, though. English and I, oh my goodness, like, it's gotten worse, too. Okay, so it's gotten worse because first of all, my family all does the same thing I do, where we swap words like crazy. It's a trait. It's a hereditary thing, I swear to you. It's gotten worse since I've been back with, like, around a bunch of my family members. And also, God bless my mom, she's learning to speak again. She's a trooper, she's amazing, she's an inspiration. Sometimes words come out of her mouth a little funny, right? That makes sense. And I swear, since I've learned to, like, mostly parse what she's saying, mine has gotten even worse, too. Oh my goodness. English is hard. But this build, so I did go with tans and, like, seafoam greens and stuff. I went more muted in the color palette and potentially a little older in the color palette, but I wanted to stay really neutral. Oh, excuse me, there goes my voice again. I wanted to stay really neutral because it's a starter home, right? I really wanted y'all to be able to come in and put your stamp on it. I'm also going to put some art in here in just a minute, and I sized it up and put it on the floor because the intention was to make it look like it was leaning against the wall, like she hadn't hung it up yet. When I took the screenshots, I liked it less. I liked it a lot less than I did when I put it in. So if I had to do this again, I would change that. I will say that. It's not bad, but it's not, I was trying to do something and I thought it looked really good and then I walked away and came back. It was one of those moments, like, I do that a lot where I'll walk away from a build and come back and be like, I hate that I did that, which is why I kind of want to start. See, I was trying to make it look like it was leaning, but it doesn't have enough of, like, the kick out on the bottom to really make that believable. But I do that a lot where I'll come back to it a little while later and I'm like, why on earth did I think that was a good idea? And so I've wanted to start for a while, and I think we have enough videos up on the channel now that maybe we can. I wanted to do a renovation series where it's like, this is the build as I did it, you know, a year ago or whatever, and now, you know, maybe the family's grown up and changed, or we just want to redo it and see how we would do it now and go back and change some of them. A big one I want to change is the grandma's house, which was like the 5th or 6th video on the channel, I think. I want to get nifty knitting and redo that one. I think that would be really fun. And now with cottage living in my game, I would really like to redo that house. So we might revisit that one. Also, I made the walls weird sizes, and that house just looks tall and skinny now. I don't know. I question past Amanda. That's all. I was really excited to get uppers in the kitchen and get some art on the walls. Again, I think I was able to do more things because the house is smaller than most EA builds. A lot of times I think EA goes for bigger houses that you can fill up, and that makes sense, but it means their houses look really sparse and empty. Whereas if you squish things in, you can get more stuff because you're not paying for so many walls. I also really like those doors. I know they're like a little maybe out of place in this house, but I love the little transom window. I am a sucker for fancy glass in windows, or indoors. Yeah, I mean in windows too, but like indoors. I think that's really cool, and we have a lot of really cool ones. That's kind of one of the reasons eventually I would like to get that loft kit. I can't remember, industrial loft kit or whatever. That archway is gorgeous, absolutely brilliant, and I would very much like to have that in my game, but I'm in no rush. I am in no rush. I think I'm just going through a phase right now where I'm like, could use some new content, which means either going and downloading CC, but then I can't use that in builds for the channel, at least right now, or potentially saving and investing in some packs. So, which, you know, is always such a struggle. I am just noticing now, which is fine, it's The Sims, but the curtains are touching the elements in the, on the stove there, which is grand. Oops. Just pretend that's not happening, it's fine. we don't really have like a lot of great curtains for in the kitchen, but we can ignore. And I spent a lot of time on landscaping. I did not use debug because I have heard that debug can cause issues for like console players and stuff. And so like obviously console players can't probably use a lot of my builds because they're funky. Well, they have a million packs first of all, and like they do use debug and stuff like that. But I'm trying to be more in the habit of like trying to think about all the different players and how we could make builds a little bit more accessible to them. That's the hope. I was reading all the lot traits and got distracted in what I was saying, but here's the screenshots. It's just a little yellow starter, pretty cute, kind of bare bones, but that's to be expected for a starter. I think I'll leave you here to watch the screenshots. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you're having a great week. I hope you know you're loved and appreciated here, and the world treats you kindly, and I'll talk to y'all soon.